All of a sudden, we look down, and there's a shark that raced up and hit the boat.
The boys realize their predicament with seconds to spare. Out on the ocean, the two boys are still drifting in their tiny boat. Alone, they face their first night out at sea, in the middle of a storm.
The first night, I barely slept. We were very, very cold.
Strong waves begin to batter the tiny boat, and the temperature plummets to below freezing.
It's coming in too fast. We're all right, we're all right.
When a wave would come, it would pull that side of the boat down, and water would come over.
Come on.
You know, it felt like ice hitting you. You know, all in all, we were, you know, freezing to death.
So I keep moving. Keep moving, okay?
Couldn't feel our hands. We were shivering. We pretty much, we had to cuddle with each other, you know, just for body heat. It was that bad.
Suffering the extreme nighttime cold makes the boys realize just how much peril they're in. Panic turns to terror as they face up to the reality that their lives are in real danger.
The first night was filled with a lot of emotion. Our mood, you know, went from being, okay, we're gonna get rescued, to, okay, you know, why are we still here? There should have been a boat, there should have been a helicopter, you know, what's going on?
You know, when we looked out that morning, there was nothing. We realized that we were, you know, so far off that we were gonna, you know, the land was now out of the option.
I did a 360 as I twisted around. I saw nothing but waves and ocean, and there's nowhere to go.
After a night shivering in freezing temperatures, Josh and Troy now endure over 23 degrees of relentless heat.
We had no shade. Anybody who knows, you know, who's been in salt water and their clothes dry after being wet, it's really crusty, salty. It was wear and tear on our skin.
Every so often, I would get in the water. Just basically cool off in the water.
You know, we swim around. It got our mind off of the situation.
So cool! Oh, yeah.
But the boys are swimming in waters notorious for sharks.
All of a sudden, we look down, and there's a shark that raced up and hit the boat.
The boys realize their predicament with seconds to spare.
And we looked down, and the water was so clear, there was a shark. It was a good size. It was about 7, 8 feet. There was a few of them just circling under our boat. So we were like, you know, that's it. We're not jumping in no more.
Back on shore, Josh's father receives dramatic news from the Coast Guard.
Hello? Hi.
We got a call, I believe it was around 10:30, telling me they had found Joshua's car.
Well, where was it? Sullivan's Island, but...
And then my heart immediately dropped. I knew they were on the ocean, my worst fear.
Right, yeah, I'll meet you there. Okay.
The Coast Guard has been searching for the boys' truck and has found it right on the ocean's edge.
Drove right past. We need the key, sir.
Sure, sir.
They opened up the glove box, they found both their cell phones and their wallets.
Knowing where the boys entered the water, the Coast Guard is now able to mount a full-scale search.
A church down the street had opened their doors, and they allowed us to come into their recreation center, and we pretty much started to congregate there. The press started to show up, all of their friends started to show up, people from around the community. I mean, it was literally hundreds of people started to show up at this church.
Now, we have people on land. We have boats in the water.
How do you know they're actually in this area?
Sir, let me show you. Okay, what we've done is we've taken our computer models and we calculate that the boat could not have gone any further than here.
I was concerned, but I was very confident that that day we would find them. That, you know, with all this effort, with all these planes, with all the helos out there, that we were going to find these boys that day. I just almost had no doubt that they were going to be found that day.
But the boys have already drifted 90 miles further north, beyond the Coast Guard's search area. Out at sea, Josh and Troy are battling the elements. They've drunk no water for over 24 hours.
So thirsty.
And are experiencing severe dehydration. Their bodies have lost over 3 pints of fluid, causing muscle cramps, headaches, and extreme disorientation. They're desperate for something to drink.
Very hot. I mean, there's pretty much no clouds in the sky. As the day progressed on and it got hotter, the water was very clear. Our mouths became drier and we were just thirsty. So it was almost tempting to drink.
So Troy and I decided, hey, well, we'll gargle it and spit it back out. And that way you have something wet in your mouth and, you know, it'll kind of, it's cold, so it'll help us a little bit, but we won't swallow it.
It wasn't good, but just have something cold in your mouth. That's all we needed.
The boys know that drinking the salty seawater will dehydrate them even further. But they're now so desperate, they find it impossible to resist.
It was horrible. I mean, it's a bad day when you know that's the only thing you have to drink. But what you're drinking's killing you and hurting you.
Weakened by dehydration, the boys are also suffering extremes of weather. Nighttime brings another severe drop in temperature. And with no protection against the biting cold, the boys have only each other's body heat to keep themselves warm.
We got to stay up. We got to keep ourselves dry. Let's cuddle. Let's talk to each other. Let's communicate. Let's make sure we're okay.
Stay with me.